You are powerfully welcome again to the English class session at The Way Edu Consult. And I want to continue with our discussion of the commonly misunderstood expressions. And at the end of the class too, you should be able to identify those expressions, discuss the appropriate usages, and give examples of their usages. Follow me as we continue with our discussion on it. Number 58, the shake hands. When you use shake hands with someone, you follow it with. It should be followed with. Like, I do shake hands with our principal, not I do shake our principal's hand. You are not shaking the person's. You are not shaking the person. Are we together? You only shake hands with. The person shakes yours, you shake the person's on. That is what you mean. You shake hands with, not I shook hand or I shook hands. I shook the principal's hands. No, shake hands with. That is the correct expression. Number 59 is on arm and ammunition. Arm and ammunition. Arm is a countable noun that could take arms. That is, could take s as a plural form. But ammunition is uncountable. So you don't add s to ammunition. So when you see it in your questions and you have to take the plural form, it's going to be arms with s and ammunition. Arms and ammunition. So ammunition remains unchanged. Just like you have words like furniture, are we together? All those uncountable nouns. Number 60 is plaintiff and defendant. Plaintiff, defendant. This is a register of law in the legal court. The person that brings a case, a legal action, are we together, or a case to a court of law is known as the plaintiff or the complainant. Are we together? The complainant, somebody who complains, who brings a case, legal action to a law court against a person. That is a plaintiff or a complainant. While someone who is accused in the court of law is known as who? Defendant. Defendant. Please take note of that so that you will not mix them up. In fact, the word defendant is already showing you that the person wants to defend the case. Now, when you are dealing with a duration of time, there are some actions that they are performed quickly, that is within a short period of time, whereby there are some actions that they take a long of time. Those who take a long period of time could be written by adding ing when you want to show their progressive or continuous form. However, when the sum involves just a short period of time, you use it in the infinitive form, that is in the base form. So there are times when it takes a longer period of time to complete an action. For instance, I saw him washing his clothes. You know, washing of clothes will take more time, right? Yeah, that's why you still use ing after the him, which is after the object, as object complement there. Aneta cooking the meal. Cooking does not just take seconds. It takes more than that. But there are some actions that could be completed within a short period of time, and such actions usually retain the base form when you want to use them as object complement. I saw the man doing what? Knocked down by the vehicle. Does it take a long time for someone to be knocked down by a vehicle? No, it takes a short time. I saw him jump the fence. To jump the fence does not take much time, so we call it verb lifespan. Are we together? I heard him talk just now. Maybe the person just talked briefly, and you hear the person's voice, and the person stopped talking. I heard him talk just now. Are we together? Yeah. So, but if it is for a long period of time, that is when you use with ing form. Look at this one. This is one of the number 62, an expression that might be gender bias, like spokesman, words like chairman. Are we together? So, chairman, if you want to write the female version, we won't say chairperson, chairwoman, right? Or spokeswoman here. But they believe that a spokesman is gender bias. And you could have a female person also being referred to as spokesman. So it's like you are imposing the gender to that position or that responsibility. So in words like that, in order to be gender neutral or to be gender sensitive, they have been changed to gender sensitive words such as spokesperson. Instead of having chairman, you have chairperson. You have more other words like that. So please take note of that. Number 63 is on mind. Mind, when you use mind, you follow, it should be followed by with ing verb. Ing verb. I don't mind driving if you are tired. I don't mind teaching you private class. I don't mind being employed in your organization. So that is about the after mind, you have been, the one of ing as the form that follows. Another one is still on the use of tautology, or the avoidance of tautology, words that carry the same semantic implications or meaning, and they are not expected to be repeated, like still and yet, so and therefore. Now, still and yet should not be used together for in expressions like I love him, yet I keep running away from him. Now, you don't say I love him, still yet. Are we together? So you can say I love him, still I keep running away from him. In that sense, still and yet will mean the same thing. So repeating it will make it to be unacceptable in English grammar. I will marry her, so she should be ready for me. Don't say so therefore, right? That is to show conclusion, right? Show your determination to do something. So I'll marry her, therefore she should be ready for me. Please take note of all these expressions as we've been saying. We know in one of the previous class sessions, I also gave the example of something like reverse back, right? Extreme end. Either of those two words in the pair should be used, not using the two. Number 65 is despolation, devastation, and demolition. When you refer to demolition, it means when you destroy a building. So the destruction that is caused to a building is called demolition, right? The government demolished those buildings, those structures in Lagos. So you could have that as example. Then when you are referring to destructions to other properties or material benefits that are not buildings, right? You use despoliations. I believe you are following. And then devastation is used for the destruction of a city. Those three words are about destruction. But what they destroy, or the object of destruction, is what we consider as being different. So devastation, when it's in the whole city or a whole town, you could talk of devastation. About the strongest form of devastation is annihilation. Annihilation is not just destruction of houses, it's not just destruction of properties, but destruction, a complete destruction. The land burnt everywhere, water polluted, air polluted, the whole place, and becomes uninhabitable for a long period of time. They talk of annihilation. Then you have the following words too in number 66: detonate, diffuse, and diffuse. Detonate means to make something to explode, like a bomb or other explosive devices. When you want to make them to explode, then you use detonate. Then when you want them to be less dangerous, or you want to stop or prevent from exploding, you use diffuse. So maybe you go ahead to remove the fuse from a bomb so that it will not explode. That is diffuse, right? The government official or the police or the secret service, the Department of Secret Service diffused the bomb from exploding. Then you have diffuse. Diffuse used as a concept in biology or in sciences to make something such as light or liquid to spread over. Maybe something, it may be liquid, it may be gas. When that thing spreads over, you talk of the thing being what? Diffused. That is diffuse. Number 67 is since and for. How do you use them? When you indicate time. Are we together? When you indicate time, since is not used with numbers, while for is used with numbers. I have been here since Wednesday. You didn't mention number. You only mentioned the specific day of the week where that you have been there. So I've been here since Wednesday. Now, and then if you have to use for, you mention specific day, not something that continues. I was there for 10 days. For 10 days. That means at this time you have left the place. I believe you've got the difference. None of the two should be used with ago. Are we together? If you have to use ago, then you use number, then plus ago. I was there 10 days ago. You don't use for, you don't use since when you have to use ago. I believe you are following us in this class session. On time and in time. On time means at the correct or exact time scheduled for an event. When you are to arrive in a place by 8 a.m. at 8 a.m. Still use take note of the preposition at 8 a.m. So the person arrived at the exact time. That is what? On time. But when the person arrived before the time necessary for something, the person arrived earlier than the time, you used in time. So they all arrived in time. That is, they arrived before even the scheduled time or when they were asked to come. So they arrived by 8 a.m. Now, 69, in bed and on bed. When someone is in a sleeping position, you describe the person as being in bed. When I got home, I met her in bed praying. That means the person is in a sleeping or resting position, lying on the bed. Then you say the person is in bed. But you use on bed when someone is sick. Yeah, so that is about that. In the next slide, we're going to continue with more of these rules, more of these misunderstood or misconstrued or fixed expressions. And I want you to still keep following us as we teach you or we take you along the concept. Thank you for listening, and God bless you.